The government announces financial aid to 7.5 million households as the Middle East crisis continues to affect the country. The Philippines and 13 other countries call on China to abide by the 2016 Arbitral Award on the South China Sea on its 10th anniversary. The Supreme Court dismisses a petition to sanction critics of its ruling that stopped last year's impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte. Students at Manila Science High School participate in the country's first ever active shooter drill led by the Department of Education. And U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announces mandatory annual testosterone screenings for troops 30 years and older. The government will give financial aid to 7.5 million households as the country continues to be affected by the Middle East crisis. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. says this expands the coverage of Uplift, or the Unified Package for Livelihoods, Industry, Food, and Transport program. It will include beneficiaries of the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, or 4Ps, and the Walang Gutom program. It will also include some 2.5 million poor and near-poor households identified through the 2024 community-based monitoring system, and some 1.5 million low-income workers and their families validated through the Social Security system. All in all, around 37.5 million individuals are expected to benefit. The DSWD will lead the rollout, but it has yet to say when. Asked about plans to assist the middle class, Pala spokesperson Claire Castro says the government is focusing on the most affected sectors as budget is limited. The Philippines and 13 other countries call on China to abide by the 2016 Arbitral Award on the South China Sea on its 10th anniversary. This as China continues to reject the awards even if it is considered final and binding. Joining the Philippines in this call are Australia, Canada, Estonia, Germany, Italy, Japan, Latvia, Lithuania, New Zealand, Romania, Slovenia, United Kingdom, and the US. They express strong opposition to, quote, any destabilizing or unilateral actions, including by force or coercion, that threaten peace and stability in the region. On July 12, 2016, an arbitral tribunal constituted under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea handed down an award that affirmed the integrity of the Philippines' exclusive economic zone in the West Philippine Sea, part of the larger South China Sea. Solicitor General Darlene Berberabe highlights the importance of the award as she speaks at the DFA's event to mark the anniversary.
When we speak of enduring protection, we should see faces: the fisherman, the coastal family, the child whose food security was litigated in The Hague without her ever knowing it.
She pays tribute to maritime agencies who patrol the West Philippine Sea and diplomats who file protests against China's aggression.
The Philippines asks of the law only what it gives. We claimed our rights and in the same breath honored everyone else's. That is the conduct of a state that believes in the system it invoked.
The Supreme Court dismisses a petition that sought to punish criticism of its own decision to stop last year's impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte. The court en banc unanimously junks the indirect contempt petition against Akbayan Representative Percy Sendanya and political analyst Richard Heydarian. It was filed by Duterte-allied lawyers Mark Tolentino and Rolex Suplico. The High Court also dismisses lawyer Ferdinand Topacio's petition against Presidential Advisor on Poverty Alleviation Larry Gadon. Supreme Court Senior Associate Justice Marvic Leonen writes the decision, dismissing the petition for lack of merit. The case stemmed from separate commentaries by Sendanya, Gadon, and Heydarian on the High Court's ruling from July 2025. Students at Manila Science High School participate in the country's first ever active shooter drill led by the Department of Education Wednesday, July 15. It's part of efforts to stop violence in schools in reaction to the deadly shooting at a school in Tacloban City on June 22. More than 1,700 students from grades 7 to 12 and their teachers observed the run, hide, fight protocol during a staged active shooter attack. Police assist in the drill and simulate apprehending the assailant. Education Secretary Sonny Angara observes the exercise.
We will do it as often as we can kasi kailangan ulit-ulitin yan eh.
U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announces Wednesday, July 15, mandatory annual testosterone screenings for troops 30 years and older. He says the initiative is aimed at combating testosterone deficiency that can undermine their health.
Ensuring you have the right testosterone levels to operate at your absolute best.
If diagnosed with low testosterone levels, troops can opt for any recommended hormone replacement treatment. Troops younger than 30 may request to be tested. This comes as the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services moves to ease some restrictions on testosterone replacement therapies, including seeking to remove limits on use by men with age-related low testosterone. The announcement triggers backlash from opposition Democrats. Some call the move gender-affirming care, a concept shunned by U.S. President Donald Trump and many of his supporters. And that's today's wrap. I'm Julian Cirineo. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. For more updates, download the Rappler app.